All right. So what? Let's see what's going on, man. We see what's going on. All right. While we're doing that, I'm going to look up the Gabelli. Oh man, Gabelli. Hold on. So we're going to. I don't know if I can do that again. Let's see. So we're live. We're just going to do some research here while we're waiting for people to jump on, and we'll see if we're buffering. I closed down some browsers, some tabs. I always got 1,000 tabs. All right, so let's see what we got. We're going to go crack how, and we're going to do some. I want to look up the Gabelli equity income. There's another one I want to look up, though, a utilities fund that was of interest. We're going to do some screeners. And again, the reason we're using mutual funds for this research is because ETFs are relatively new to the game. Not that many ETFs exist more than 10 years. All right, Bob, you trying to go out? Bob, you're just here, big boy. Can I look up my recent, Pablo, hold on a sec. I'm looking at my Schwab tool. Can I use my recent fund screener to get a gauge, predefined? Oh, man. I guess I can. Latest. Okay, I guess I can. All right. That's fine. Hold on a second. There we go. There you go, big boy. All right. Make up your mind, Pops. All right, so I'll share with you what I'm doing here. Kevin. Yeah, Pablo waits for no one. Exactly. All right, so I'm on the Schwab Client Center. And remember, if you open a Schwab account through the link I give you, you get $250. I don't get anything. You do, which is be sweet if I did too, but I don't. That's okay. So I'm looking. I just doing a mutual fund screener, and they don't let me see the what I just was screening for. It's too bad. I was hoping they would. All right, so let's look. This one I was just looking at, the Gabelli Equity Income Fund. So we're going to bring this guy up. We're going to look at it under Schwab, actually. Haven't used Schwab. I'm not all that familiar with Schwab's research tools, but given that Yahoo Finance was buffering like crazy, well, screw that, man. All right, so let's go to 10 years. All right, so here is our let's see. Hold on a second. That's okay. So here's all right. I want to point something out. This graph, so Gabelli Equity Income Fund, remember, it's yielding 6%, which is significantly higher than the Vanguard Value Index Funds. That tells me there's a lot of junk in here. We can find out for sure, but we can still look at 6% yield, distribution yield. What does distribution yield consist of? Is a trailing 12-month end yield. Morningstar computes this figure by summing the trailing 12-month income distributions, and dividing the sum by last month's NAV, plus capital gain distributions at the same from the same time. Income refers only to interest payments from fixed income. Okay, good. So they are not using the dividend. Principal. They're not paying back your principal. Income refers only to interest payments from fixed income securities and dividend payments. So that's good. So income is we just said is income refers only to interest payments from fixed income securities and dividend payments from common stocks. All right. So the fund itself isn't doing that. What are the holdings doing that, if that makes sense? What's the holdings doing that the fund owns to get the dividends and capital gains and income? That's the scary thing. So anyway, so right now we got 6.02 is our distribution yield for the trailing 12 months, $6 a share, or a percent, 6%. All right. Now, if we look at the last since 2010, so basically last 10 years, if you put $10,000 in the Gabelli Equity Income Fund, it'd be worth, $23,000 today. So you doubled your money. Nothing wrong with that. But that's a reinvesting of dividends, assumes reinvestment of dividends and capital gains and does not reflect tax, all that. I don't even care about that right now. What I'm saying is, how are you going to get 6% a year when the Vanguard Value Index is only paying 2.2? The only way you're getting that is with some seriously cheap stuff. And it might be cheap because a lot of investment managers are saying, I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. And they might all be wrong. But why are they all saying they don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole? Because there's a hell of a lot of risk in there, close to going bankrupt, for instance. A lot of maybe junk bonds in there. I don't know. But when the yields are that high, three things are happening. There's an incredible risk being taken place. There won't be enough cash flow to continue the yield. And the reason when the yields are so high, there's credible risk taking place, that means the price per share has dropped, so the yield goes up. I hope that makes sense. Let me see I want to explain something because I think this is incredibly important to understand. So we're going to explain how price per shares and yields go. I tell you. All right, so just for simplicity, we got $100,000 is our we'll do $100 for simplicity. $100 is our price per share. That's $100 price per share. We get a dividend yield of $5. We get a $5 dividend yield. All right. So is that how we do it? Either way, it's going to be a 5% dividend yield. All right. So that's 5%. I think it's that. All right. It's 100 into 5. Yeah, 100 into 5. So 100 into 5 is 5%. We get a 5% dividend yield if our price per share is $100. If our price per share drops by 50%, all right, so remember, I hope this makes sense. Right now, the stock is trading at 100. It gives a $5 per share dividend, which means I have a 5% dividend yield. Everybody with me on that? If the price per share of the stock drops by 50%, now I have a $50 share price, $50. I still have a $5 dividend yield. Who wants to guess what my $5 dividend? It's a $5 dividend. Who wants to guess what my dividend yield is? Who wants to take a guess? What is my dividend yield? That's a question mark, by the way. So again, if we go back here, $100 price per share, $5 dividend, 5% dividend yield. Hey, Chloe! Whee! You don't want to be on camera this time? Want to show your fingernails? You don't. Oh, you look beautiful, girl. All right. So what? That's a question mark. What will this be right here? Let's see what kind of comments we got. 10%. Exactly right. So it's 10%, 100% right. So you have a 10% distribution or dividend yield. Why? I mean, why is it? Does that make it more attractive? Maybe. But why do you think the stock fell 50%? I hope that makes sense. So if before out of 5%, and don't look at today's numbers. I'm just using for nice, simple numbers. I'm a simple caveman. I'm a simple caveman. So why would you all of a sudden say, whoa, I got a 10% yield on that stock. Yay, that's great. Because the price has fallen so much. Why did it fall so much? Well, something inherently was ugly with that. Could it be a misplaced? The market is undervaluing it? I don't know. Probably not. There's a reason the price is so low. The price dropped by 50%. Because something happened to the stock that made it have a price decline. And one thing that would tell me is like, the first thing that jumps out, are they able to keep the dividend? Because if they had a price decline, it always comes back to cash flow projections. I cannot stress this enough. Price declines always come to future cash flow. Future cash flow, for some reason, was off. The stock fell. So the dividend yield goes up. The yield on the dividend goes up. The question is, can the company continue to pay that dividend? Especially if the reason for the price decline was the concern about cash flow. It's always going around. Cash flow is always it. It's always king. Talking to a guy today, he wanted to make sure I had his gold. This nice guy. I said, it won't matter. He goes, yeah, but I want to make sure it's in there. I said, literally, my financial planning is all about cash flow. That's it. Cash flow. It literally doesn't matter if you have gold. It doesn't matter if you have a 67 Mustang. It does not matter. It only matters cash flow. Same thing with investors on stocks. The only thing that matters is cash flow, unless you're speculating. And that's not investing. That's gambling. So anyway, in this case, we have a higher dividend yield. And the reason is is because the price per share dropped so much. So either that price per share is way undervalued and it should go back up to 100, or the fact that there's a reason it's so low because the cash flow is coming to an end, which means what's going to happen to the dividend? The dividend will probably be cut, which is why the price is dropping. I hope that makes sense, man. And I'm just telling you right now, so many people don't get this. They see these high dividend yields like, whoa, I could get 2.2% on a Vanguard value index fund, or I could get 6% or 7% over here. I'm sitting there thinking, let's think this through now. Why are you getting those yields? There's only a couple reasons. Because the prices are way down. They're buying a bunch of junk, which is inherently risky. Or the prices on previous stocks has become almost junk, which is inherently risky. Or they're using cash flow from borrowing to pay dividends, or they're paying off principal. There's literally no other reason. There is no other reason. All those things are very suspect. So let's look at QLD. All right. So, man, all right, we're gonna look. See, I like the. All right, let's look at QLD. All right, so let's go back to. I hope that makes sense. This is one of the most fundamental things when it comes to dividend investing you could possibly find. And if you grasp that, am I still buffering? I don't see any comments coming in. If I'm buffering, I'm gonna freaking eat some 2% of ice cream is better than 25% of dog crap. At 100%. 100%. I always say, at 100%, I could not agree that more. I'd rather get, pay taxes on 100% gain than pay nothing on a 10% loss, if that makes sense. Yeah, we're going to talk about QLD. Yep. Okay, good. No buffering. All right. So like my man here said, QLD is a covered call fund. All right. So what are they doing? They're selling calls on stocks in which to generate income. All right. I hope you've watched my videos on how I got killed on selling covered calls on stocks to generate income. Well, I was just as a guy working the trading desk at Charles Schwab. I'd only been in the business for 4 years at that point. I didn't know what I was doing. Oops, that's what I'm going to say. I didn't know what I was doing. Maybe, but I was making money up until. When was I not making money? Anyone want to guess? So I was selling covered calls on lots of different stocks, and Juniper, CMGI or CGMI. Was it CMGI or CGMI? I can't remember. The Qs, triple Qs, I was making bank. And then I didn't make bank, and I lost almost the whole entire portfolio. Anyone want to guess why? What happened when I was selling covered calls? Market got cranked, dudes. Got killed. So CMGI, is that what it was? Yeah, I think you're right. CMGI, yeah. Market got killed. So what I did is I sold. I wanted to keep my income, so I sold covered calls on a good Aloha state of mind says nobody buying. That's right. Nobody buying. There was still another side of the trade. Jeremy says market went down. Well, yeah, but you're not. You're selling puts, yes, but now we're getting to hedging strategies. If we're using hedging strategies, inherently, are you truly hedging in a covered call portfolio? That would defeat the purpose of generating income with the covered calls, man. The point being is that you're trying to maintain that income in a declining market. You're trying to catch a knife. And if you're trying to maintain that income in a declining market, what happens is every now and again, even in a declining market, the market jumps back up and your shares are taken away. So then you got to go back into the market, buy high appreciated shares that if they get taken away from you, which you've already locked in a loss, and then it keeps going. I'm telling you right now. So let me draw this out for you. And I'm just telling you, learn by my experience, man. No, it wasn't 2008, Brad. It was in 1999 to 2001. So what happens is market's going up. You're selling calls. All right. So basically what's happening is you're buying at 100. You're selling a call for, I'm just using a quick and easy strike price of 115. All right. You're either getting this premium. All right. You're getting the premium and you're locking in the gain. So basically what happens is when the stock, so I'm buying the stock at 100 I'm turning around and I'm writing a call against it. It's called a buy right. A call is just a way for someone to call the shares from me. Let me explain this even. I want to make sure this is clear. So when I'm selling an option, and option selling, covered calls are actually is actually safer than actually buying the stock naked. And let me tell you why. Because let me show you how it works. All right. So what's happening is I got a stock for $100. I buy for $100. So I'm buying a stock, we'll just say Coke, for $100. All right. I'm selling a call, the ability for someone to call it from me at 115. All right. So this would be what's called an out of the money call, out of the money, because for this guy to call my shares from me, the stock has to go at least to 115. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, because he's saying, look, Josh, I'm going to give you money, what's called a premium, in which I have the right, I reserve the right to take away your shares from you at 115 later on, if that makes sense. So for me, I'm going to profit in two ways here. I'm going to profit by the premium he's given to me, which would be a $3. Well, I'm literally just using ideas here, but roughly we'll say a $3 premium, depends on the volatility. So I'm going to pocket $300 right here, $300, because a $3 covered call is equivalent to $300. I'm going to pocket $300, but let's just, for simplicity, we're going to go back to three. It's a $3. What he's paying me is $3 per call. On top of that, if the market goes up to 115, well, I'm 15% richer for that as well. So in this case, if he takes my shares away at 115, and he has the right to do it anytime he wants, man. European options are not like America. American option, this is why America is freaking awesome. We're Wild West. You don't want European options. They only exercise at least it used to be this. I mean, we're talking 20 years ago. They only exercise at maturity. American, you can do whatever you want. You can pull your options whenever you want. So anyway, in this case, I know for a fact I have the most I will gain on this will be $18 on a $100 investment. Does that make sense? So I can gain $15 in share price appreciation plus $3 in my option that I sold the option to him to take my shares at 115. So I know for the fact I will gain at most $18. All right. So again, let's go into this now. So I bought it for 100. I sell it with a strike price at 115, but let's say the stock goes to 125. So this right here is where I stop on the gain. This is where I stop on the upside. I miss out on that extra $10 upside. He gets it. He gets an extra $10 upside. However, I still got $3 for the option. All right. So even though I could have had 25% return, I still got an 18% return because I got the first $15 of growth, plus I got $3 to sell the option. I hope that makes sense. Now, this guy, he is only at risk. He is only at risk that $3. So let's go into what happens now. So the guy who is buying the option, I'm writing it, he's buying it, or I'm selling it, he's buying it. The guy who's buying the option, his only risk is $3. That's it. So let's say this guy has paid me $3 for the ability to get anything above 115. So if this stock goes to 200, he paid me $3 for the right to profit on all that money right there. Now he still got paid me this 115. But basically, he said, I'm lock and loaded. I'm gonna freaking take your shares, Josh, at 200, and I'm gonna pay you 115. Well, plus the 3. Hope that makes sense. So he's like, hell yeah, that's a freaking profitable endeavor. I'll do that any day of the week. But so he's only really at risk in that regard, $3, because what happens is if the shares go down in value, that's if it goes up. I got upside limits on how much I can make. There's no other way around it. When you're selling covered calls, you have an upside limit. If the shares go down, all right, we'll just say to 90. So again, this is a strike price. This is where he will take my shares from me. He'll probably wait and he'll probably do it. For him to make money, it's got to be 118 because he paid me the 3 for the option. But anyway, just for simplicity, this is where he will take my shares. All right. But that's only if the stock goes up. If the stock goes down, Paul Reiser says he sees Harry on air. He said, Harry's a good guy. At these low prices, buying Tesla stock is an opportunity of a lifetime. I love Harry. He's a good guy. It's funny. Harry reminds me of these. Harry's a good guy. I'm just joking, but he reminds me of those guys on Bitcoin. Say anything about Bitcoin, say, you'll be kicking yourself now, these bots. You'll be kicking yourself now for not buying Bitcoin. I always try to delete them, but I can't keep up with them all. Anyway, so here we got $100. Oh, I can't. Let me see if I can't. That's not really. Well, that might be better. All right, there we go. Here we got $100 share price. He's hoping it goes up beyond 115. He will pay me $3 if it goes beyond 115 because he can pocket that. However, the shares go down to 90. Well, I will accept his $3 because he paid me the option, and he is out only $3. He's not out anything. However, I am out $10 because the share price now is 90. So I'm $10 for the poorer, but I still collect that $3 premium. So I'm actually only down $7 here. So I'm a loss of $7 because I got his $3 for him taking the option to me to take my shares from me. But I've gained $3 in the option, but I've lost $10 in the price per share. So my net right now is down $7. I hope that makes sense. Now, what if I didn't sell the option? What if I was naked? I don't have a covered call. No options. No naked options, nothing. I'm just buying the stock. It's called naked. I own it naked. So here I'm down 90. Here I'm down 10%. So, I mean, it's a matter of mathematics. If I sold the option and the price per share drops, I am better off than if I didn't sell the option. I just owned it naked with no option sale, if that makes sense. So, and when selling covered calls is actually reducing your risk, because even if that thing drops from 100 to 0, goes bankrupt, I'm only out $97. The guy who did not have any covered calls is out the full 100. All right, so selling covered calls is less risky. That is inherently, that can't really be debated. The problem is, though, when the options expire worthless, let's go back down to it. So what happens here? We got my $100. He was hoping to take it from me at 115 and went down to 90. All right, he gave me $3. I got a $3 option, so I made $3 on the option. This option expires worthless because it's not profitable for him at all. All right, so now before I was $15 out of the money, now I'm $25 out of the money, and that option is now worthless because there are expiration dates. I used to do 6 months. 6 months, usually 10 to 15%, 6 months out of the money. That's what I used to do. So I'd always want them to expire worthless. That was my goal. Anyway, so 6 months, 3 to 6 months, you can do long. Leap options are like 18 months, a year to 18 months to 2 years. Long something. Anticipated part. I forgot what leap options, what that stands for. If anyone knows what leap options are, right? I mean, I just can't remember what you call them anyway. But anyway, you can buy. So, but generally speaking, the profit where the money is to be made and losses in shorter term options. All right. So in this case, so now that the stock is trading at 90, this option expires worthless, which means I pocket his $3. I hope that makes sense. He loses it, I gain it. And I always gain it. All right, so what happens here? I hope that's clear as mud, very opaque. So what your old buddy Josh did, we'll use the Qs. Q. So I was doing buy right covered calls on the Qs because the Qs are very volatile. Volatility is how you make money in options. All right. So what would happen is I would sell an option at, I'd buy it at 100, sell it at 115. I'd probably sell it at 110 for the call, and it would go down to 90. Then I'd sell it at 100, and it'd go down to 80. Then I'd sell it at 90. So what was happening here is I bought it at 1. I'd sell it for a strike price at 115 for $3. I'd pocket the proceeds. The shares would fall to 90. I'd do it again when the option expired, or I might even just buy it back. You can buy it back for pennies on the dollar, whatever. Then I sell it for another strike price at 100, and then a couple months later the shares are down to 80. I'd buy out the option to close up the option, or I'd just let it for it expire worthless. Either way, I pocketed it. But now I'd sell a strike price at 90, and it just keep going down. And you're bailing out the Titanic with a bucket. That's what you're doing. And so you're bailing out the Titanic with a bucket, and the water's coming in faster than you can bail it out by far. And then you wake up one day and your freaking Qs are at 40, and and it's continued to go down. And then there's less people in the market to get involved in the option, which would have been a wonderful time actually for people to be buying options. But there's just less liquidity, less people have money to get involved in the options. Everyone hates tech, and then you wake up, and now your Qs are not trading at 100. What you first purchased is trading at 20, which it did. So you're down 80%. Now you're saying, well, I'll just ride this puppy down to 0. And you say, well, at least I'll get the strike price. At least I'll get the option contracts. Then you sell it at 25, and guess what? The stock goes up to 30, and now you're locked in. You're locked in at a strike at 25. I know that's confusing as all can be, but essentially what happens? You bought it, you rode the options down until it's 20. You kept doing it. You said, well, I'll just keep doing it, and then the stock jumps to 30, and you got your shares taken away from 25, and then you're off to the races, and you just locked in your loss. Good time. So anyway, the point being is that's how it works. Now, in an up market, it works fine because, like I just said, you're selling it at 100. You have a strike price of 115. You turn around and the guy takes your shares at 115 plus $3 of income. That's fantastic. And then you just do it again. It just keeps going up. You do it again until kaboom. So let's look at QYLD. I wonder if I can do it here. So we're going to go to Schwab. Let's see here. Oh, wait, I got a wrong one. All right, there we go. And also, I don't like gambling. And to be an option, and options are gambling. There's no other way around that. And look, I am anti-gambling. I'm not going to yell at you for gambling. I'm not going to yell at you for drinking beer. I'm not going to yell at you for looking at porn. I'm not going to yell at you for any of that crap. That's on you. But at the end of the day, gambling for someone like me who's got a natural addictive personality is bad. So thankfully, I hate losing money. I hate it more than anything. I hate it. And as such, the losing money like that, just thankfully I did, because if I would have made money, I would have been probably friggin' serving men under the bridge for a friggin' hit of selling a covered call. And I didn't even got a naked options. Just puts, strangles, straddles, that whole thing. Oh my goodness, I had to study that for the Series 7. Oh my, it's like, dude, who invented this name? So we got collars, we got puts, we got collars, straddles, strangles. It's like a freaking S or B. What's the thing? Sadomasochist, where people are like beating on each other while they're getting busy. It's like you got collars, you got strangles, straddles, naked, covered. There's a couple other things in there too. Spreads, you got spreads. I'm like, dude, who invents this crap? All right, so let's go to QYLD. And I always said that's all the names for that. I can't, like, hey babes, I'm gonna tell my wife, I just bought a straddle with a spread. It's naked. She'd be like, get the hell out of here. All right, so we're gonna look at QLD as right. It only goes back 5 years, man. Oh, man, it's Inception. What's Inception on this puppy? You don't see this? Yeah, you can see this. Anyone see Inception? Okay, Inception Day 2013. Why does it only go back 5? Come on, Schwabi. Oh, we got okay. There we go. Oh, freaking Schwab. Okay, yeah, Schwab. Okay, I'm not. Schwab is a fan. I love Schwab. Marie asked me, why do I like Vanguard mutual funds but Schwab's website? Because Schwab's website freaking kicks ass and take names. Everything is in here. It's insanely awesome, Marie. It's literally Schwab is the king, freaking whatever. It's a Joe Biden of the investment industry, because Joe Biden is our king. All hail Sniffy Joe. Let him sniff your hair. Do you know that when you go before Joe Biden, you got to put your head down so he can sniff your hair? Only if you're a young lady, like under the age of 10. But if you're a young lady under the age of 10 and you go before Joe Biden on his throne, you have to put your head down so he can sniff your hair. he issued a proclamation, executive order. All who come behold before me, I declare I will sniff your hair if you're a girl under the age of 10. But there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that because I'm a Democrat. Yeah. All right, so let's see what we got. So as we see here, here we go. And this is on an up market, by the way, too. So we got covered call strategy. Started what's at a 20. What are we up here? We're up to, we started probably 25. Probably open at 20. Yeah, I'm sure it started when it's first issued, it was $25. And now it's trading at $21.97. So we have a pretty significant decline, and that's just in share price alone. And as we're going into it, look, buy whatever you got to do. I don't care. But I'm just saying, if we go back to 2014, and this is paying us the cash, the NAV price per share has gone from freaking this right here, $25.79 to $21.97. That should open up bells in you because cover, like I just told you, they're going to sell options. Expect this on an up market. What's going to do in a down market? Sell options on a declining market is, I just tell you, man, you cannot cannot play that any worse. You can't. You might as well just be naked and buy the damn stock outright. That is just, that's ugly, man. That's ugly. All right, let's see what we're going to go back here. Let's look at distributions. It's like you might as well do an annuity in this case. All right, so let's look at distributions here. Do you even have rising? They got to have rising distributions simply because the price is going up, right? Wait. More the higher, if it's a zero coupon bond, interest rates change affects zero coupon bonds more than they do high coupon bonds. I know that. I wonder if this, I can't remember the options. The higher price stock is volatility matters, but there's a price. I can't remember. The higher price, I don't think it matters. Yeah, I don't think it matters. Well, no, that's not true. It does matter because if you have $100,000 invested and you're just for simplicity getting a $3 option, that's we'll just say that's 3% for simplicity, $300. If it goes down to 25, you're only going to be getting, a quarter of that. And it's not the same with zero coupons with interest rates. No. So in this case, we have a rising stock price throughout the world, and yet we have an income stream that was 20 cents. Fast forward to there's 20 cents in what year? That's 2020. Okay, that's just 1 year. Okay, never mind. Scratch that. That's 1 year. Oh no, that's not 1 year. What is that? What year is that? 2020. Can I do no, right here, sweet. Oh, look at Schwab. Charles Schwab, will you take my hand in marriage? All right, so here's our income. 22 cents, 22 cents, 22 cents. Now, I'm going to tell you, I haven't seen this. I'll be freaking ticked off if we're not starting well below 22 cents in 2013 when this puppy was initiated. We have a rising value of the investment world, the stock world. They're selling options against stocks that are rising in value, and so inherently they should be increasing their option take home because the price will increase as the stock prices increases. All right, so here we're 2019, 21, 17, 22, 20. See, I'm not liking this, man. All right, here we go. All right, so we had a big change from right there, 2017 to 2018. What made the change? That's interesting. Look at that big change, and this is the dividend distribution yield. I'm sure you guys are like, this guy's a nut. Don't care anymore. Is there anyone even on here anymore? Yeah, 85 people. All right. I'm sure you guys are like, what the hell is this guy talking about? All right, so there's our income. All right, so we're looking at income. So let me just go back down here and look at this. Oh, look at that, dude. It hasn't hardly changed. This is the income, 25 cents a share, 19 cents a share, 19, 26, 24, 21, 23, 22, 19. That's in 2014. December, 14 cents a share. All right, let's just look at all Decembers. All right, 14 cents a share, December 2014. We're going to go to 21 cents a share, December 2015. 14 cents a share, December 2016. I hope you guys see what's going on here. 13 cents a share, December 2017. 17 cents a share, 2018. 16, 2019, and then we'll go to wrap it up in 23 in 2020. There's no increasing freaking income. Your price per share is going down. But everyone's suckered into this freaking yield. And the yield is 11.73. You're not, okay. I mean, do what you got to do, my friends. I wouldn't touch this at a 10-foot pole. It would just wait till the market gets hammered. It's going to be freaking ugly. How do I know? Because I went through that myself. You haven't increased your income at all. And yet your price per share has dropped from 25 to 20, 21 or something like that. And that's in a rising market like we've never seen. Not touching that with 10-foot pole, man. Hey, Turkey, right on, man. Mustafa, what's going on? All right, hey, got someone for Turkey on here. All right. I like Mustafa. He's a good guy. I don't care what they say, Mustafa. You're a good guy. All right. We'll talk nice about Erdogan. All right, just make sure, because I'm sure he's All right, so here's a good question, Ahmad. If inflation's coming, why are used cars prices rising? I noticed they were rising, but no, I think they are going up. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say, well, here's the answer for that. I think at the end of the day, inherently just makes sense to me is that this, regardless of inflation, I guess you can make an argument on the cost of new vehicles is higher. And that's a lot of that has to do with regulations, the way the EPA standards are, the way the government is regulating from steel to plastics, all this stuff, highway mileage, all the bells and whistles that go in that. I mean, just the new safety regulations. Don't forget, my friends, California, they're going to regulate you get solar photovoltaic panels put on your home. That is a cost that will be reflected in the cost per home. Is that inflationary? No, it's not. But yet it goes. But Josh, I used to be able to buy a house in California for $200. Now I got to buy it for $210. You tell me that's not inflationary? Well, not if the solar panels cost $10,000. They're mandating you put them in. Same thing with all these vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. But anyway, with that said, the reason used cars prices because it's freaking capitalism is awesome. People say I'm not going to buy it. I still can't believe that when I wrote about it in my book, when I tried to buy a 2010 Honda Odyssey. Back then it was like $30,000. Back then, that's freaking 11 years ago. $30,000. We just gave it to this lady who's getting ready to have her first child. It was still worth like a blue book at like $12,000. So anyway, what happens is it's a substitution effect, Ahmad. Substitution effect simply means at the end of the day, I can't afford filet, so I'm going to buy ground beef. All right, and what that does is stimulate the demand for ground beef. Higher demand means higher prices. It's just all there is to it. So that's what's happening. So we have a higher increasing cost of new vehicles, and a lot of that's because engineering. The marvel of today's engineering is nuts. It's insane. But on top of that, we have a lot of regulation and things that go in nature that go in the cost of the car, and as such, people say, I can't afford that new thing. I'm going to go over here, as they should anyway, and buy the used thing. The substitution effect. My man Brad just threw $40K into the S&P 500. Right on. Well, we'll see if that pays out, man. Oh, futures are down, says Harry. Be ready for pain. Feel the pain. No, remember that. All right, where's this from? Take the pain. Take the pain. Anyone know what movie that's from? If you do, you're the man. So Harry is pumping and dumping his Tesla. Tesla holds 600. The shorts are planting more fake news, and right after the accident news was debunked. The accident news where they were able to put out that battery, was that really truly debunked? I mean, I don't know. I just read it. I did a video on it. It's fun. I have read other people who are familiar with this that these batteries, when they do catch, you can't put them out with water. A lot of people, maybe you, Harry, said, well, they should have had, I forgot what it was, the other material used to put out electrical fires. I'm not sure, but why people would do that. Now I saw an article that purportedly said it was debunked. I said, well, okay, if this guy is true, that would make sense. It was like the chief of police or something like that. But I always, whenever I hear the word debunked, I would say, it wasn't truly debunked. It's kind of like it was debunked, the claim that the COVID-1984 came from a Wuhan lab. That was debunked. Don't tell the YouTube algorithm, but was it really debunked? Was it? It was not debunked. Shh. It wasn't debunked. Shh. But yet you're a conspiracy theorist if you thought, could it have come from the Wuhan lab? That's crazy. That's conspiracy. You said, could the V, It's interesting too, because the Salk Institute. Now listen, I listen to Brett Weinstein and Heather Heying a lot. And I like them. They're liberals, biologists. I think they're both atheists. But I like them because they're open-minded. They were very, very nervous about the COVID initially. They're becoming not only less nervous, but becoming kind of pissed off about the insanity of wearing the baby diaper on your face outside, which is good. And they're also starting to say, wait, they truly thought initially it came from a bat. And the interesting thing with Brett is that he says he likes bats. He says bats get a bad rap. I guess he's studied bats for a long time because it kind of pissed him off. So he started doing some due diligence, because when you're calling your baby's mama ugly, or when you're calling your baby ugly, you're going to get pissed. People are calling his baby ugly, bats. He said, wait a second, this isn't adding up, man. And lo and behold, they're of the belief, it seems, that is probably that the Wuhan, the commie cold, came from the lab, not necessarily a bat. Interesting, huh? Even more than that. So they read an article about the Salk Institute had an article talking about the protein spikes that you get and how that could be bad. And it seemed like there's some powers that be were pushing back, talking about the V. So basically the Salk Institute, Jonas Salk, they had a study that said the protein spike you're getting with the V, it could essentially be bad. I don't want to say much more than that. I'm rather ignorant about the whole thing, so I haven't read it all. I've read some of it. It's not enough to be educated on this. I'm just going off what some of the things I follow. And anyway, so apparently that got around, and Fauci and the jackboot thugs at the CDC said, "How dare you?" And quickly, the Salk Institute had to put some verbiage in there that said, well, this might be true, but the vaccine is perfectly fine. Or so it was just, you're like, this is crazy. No one's saying it's bad. Everyone's just saying, well, maybe this could be an issue. And it was like within, like freaking just like that. They had to put a verbiage in there that said, no, we weren't saying that. You're like, dude, holy crap. And either Heather Heying and Brett Weinstein are like, huh? So as a skeptic of all these, all right, as a skeptic of all the consensus when it comes to science, or the consensus when it comes to financial planning, or the consensus, in a way, I'm pretty happy where things are shaking out, because it seems like a lot of nominally go on to get on, people are saying this is a bridge too far. And while they're going along with it to the extent that they're willing to wear their baby diapers and they're willing to maybe get the V, a lot of them are saying, I don't know. And so it's starting to open up the thing, like, if they could say this about that, what are they saying about other things, if that makes sense? And that's where I got. I said, wait a second. When it came to other things, like I always knew the climate change stuff was a joke. I always knew that was a freaking complete fraud. Everyone knows it's a fraud, other than the people who have money interest in it, or people who are just doomsday anyway. It's a fraud. The whole thing with climate change. You deny climate change? No, I do not deny climate change, which is why I know for a fact there was something called the medieval war period that somehow got deleted from Michael Mann's in the Little Ice Age. Those weren't there. That's climate changing, and they got demanded by Michael Mann's fraudulent hockey stick. Where did those things go? They just disappeared. Amazing. Anyway, that's climate changing. So I do not deny climate changing. I deny the fact that, well, I guess it is a fact that the CO2 increasing to 400 parts per million, we're all going to die from a burning hell, and we're all going to be underwater in friggin' 10 years time. When the sea levels rise at a millimeter a year, a millimeter a year, the sea levels rise. That's it. Could that be attributed actually to actual sea level rising? Probably. Or could it be attributed to a sinking because of gravity pulling the earth down? Maybe that too. But either way, the whole point was I knew that was fake. But everyone's saying consensus, you're an idiot, you're an extremist, you're blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. And then I started saying, let's talk about something else with the V's. I said, could that have, and I remember actually my other thing was food. I said, why is the food nutrition so bad? Everyone's just fat. Everyone has allergies. What is happening? Wasn't like that when I was growing up. Oh, you got to trust, skim milk is better than whole milk, blah, blah, blah. I said, anyway, long story short, I said, the nutrition is bad. I'll never forget. I was sitting in USA, sitting next to a heavyset lady. We're both in line. I had my whole milk. She had her skim milk. And I was already going low carb by then. So I lost 30 pounds just like that. I felt great. She had skim milk. I had whole milk. She goes, I can't believe you drink that. It's like really bad for you. I said, what? She goes, yeah, it's so fattening. I was looking at myself. I said, I didn't say this, but I'm thinking, I'm 174. Sister, you ain't pregs. I didn't say that, but I'm like, we don't see you there. There's a disconnect. I'll never forget that. Anyway, and then you go into the V's, the same thing. You're saying, wait, if they could be that wrong about this, and the same people, probably the same, literally same people. If you say, I wonder if there's an alternative point of view to this. They say, you're anti-science, the consensus, blah, blah, blah. You're Jenny McCarthy. You're like, I'm not really Jenny McCarthy. I'm just interested. Why? It's just funny, man. Anyway, I had a good talk to my mom today because my mom's a hippie from the day. You know what I'm saying? We used to have in Maine, Good Day Market. So she used to take me up to Good Day Market. Is like the organic food place well before anyone. This is like in the early 70s up in Portland, Maine. So he said, get off the boat, walk up to the west end of Portland, go to Good Day Market, smell all the spices and stuff they had, all organic, before Whole Foods was even around, all hippie stuff. And we're talking, and I said, did you ever feed us, raw milk? Because, a lot of the hippies and stuff back in the day were really anti, just lots of stuff. Like my mom to this day has hated, I don't know if to this day, but she hated Nestle because what they did to African children in sub-Saharan Africa, experimenting on them, trying to get them off mother's milk and instead on their crap. Bill Gates would smile. Anyway, so she's always been anti-Nestle, always. I don't know if she still is to this day. I presume she probably is, frankly. And I learned all that from her. Anyway, long story short, she goes, we did, but I wasn't quite convinced raw milk, Josh, was better than just pasteurized because, it wasn't the same as organic. And I hate to say organic food because that's so damn cliche anymore, but homegrown food without all the pesticides on that. She goes, it wasn't the same in terms of definitively there's some negatives with eating food that's been processed relative to raw milk and pasteurized milk. She wasn't convinced. So anyway, point being, we had a good chat about that today. And she shared me with this book. Well, I haven't bought it yet. I'm gonna. The Medical Detectives that she had read in 1985. Oh man, let's see if I got it on here. The Medical Detectives from 1985. See, I tell you, man, I am so. Oh, thank you, Lord, for allowing my relationship with my mother to get back where I brings to. Oh man. Excuse me. Mom's had a tough life. A lot of it self-imposed or self-imposed. What's the word I'm looking for? Self-created, I guess. But she the last few months she's been in a good place, a better place than I've seen her in freaking years, man. It just man. Oh, it makes me so happy, especially where it was with my mom. Oh man, I don't want to get into it anymore. But oh my goodness, seeing the prodigal son. There's a reason the guy was so happy for his prodigal son. You know what I'm saying? It did not discount how much he loved his son that stayed with him. It just said, going to the depths of hell and coming back is the angels, the choirs of up in heaven are singing. They're singing. That doesn't mean people can't go back to hell, if that makes sense. But while you got them, you just want to grasp and hold on to it for dear life, man, because you don't know how long it's going to last. You see what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, man, the love of a mom, especially my mom, I've had nothing but she's just like the most brilliant person that I've ever spoke to in my life. And when she is on, it's like, it's such a, but when she's not on, it's just so, I mean, I don't know if you've all ever dealt with people, who are strung out, but when they're strung, you're like, what? You're like, it's so front, because like where they used to be and where they are, you're like, I just, something went wrong in there, and it's just so frustrating. And most times people can't pull them out, and as such, they become zombies, and it's just horrible. But when they get pulled out, there is nothing better, man. Nothing makes your heart melt, and nothing makes you happier. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I cannot tell you. Well, you might know. A lot of people know. A lot of people know what it's like. They know what both sides are like, to lose somebody and also to gain somebody back. And man. Anyway, so this is the book she shared with me today, The Medical Detectives. The classic collection of award-winning medical investigation reporting by Burton Rouchet or something like that. I can't wait to get this. Written in 1985. And so that usually means if it's written in the 80s and 70s, that was before the true educational industrial complex set in, where freaking, the monstrosities, that is, you will, Judith Curry from Georgia Tech, you don't believe in AGWs, we're all going to die. You can no longer be a professor of physics at Georgia Tech. I know we need women in STEM, but no, not you, because you don't toe the company line. It's more important for you to toe the company line than for you to be a professor of physics at Georgia Tech, even though you literally wrote the book on thermodynamics. 30 years ago, it wasn't like that so much. In fact, if you even read some of the global warming debates back in the early 90s even, you can see there's a lot of pull and pull, whatever, give and take. And somehow, Al Gore, because he became vice president, somehow that went out because Al Gore said, we're going to spend money on this. And everyone fell in the line. It's crazy, man. Crazy. If Al Gore, it's nuts. It's crazy how history is resolved by just, I'm not going to say serendipity, but one thing happens. And let me give an example. Why do you think the lockdowns occurred? You want to know? This is crazy. The lockdowns occurred not because China did it so well, not because China, because what happened in Italy. Now, what happened in Italy, the government of Italy went to lockdown, and then everyone else said, well, if they're doing it and they're a European country, they're not China, we should do it too. What happened to the government of Italy? I think it's in 2017. They totally, they got the, was it the 5-star movement? They had a pretty populist right-wing guy in the head of the government, like the prime minister. In the left, they call, I can't remember what happened, but they were able to finagle their way to remove that guy and take over the government, even though they weren't the majority vote. I can't remember how they did it. It's just the left. They know how to get power. And so the left is in power in Italy, overtaking this guy. They did it just, it wasn't fraud. It was even worse than that. It was like I forgot how they did it, but they did it like that's not how you're supposed to do it. But who's going to stop them? You see what I'm saying? Who's going to stop them? And so what happened in Italy, we no longer had the populist right-wing guy. We had a left-wing guy, even though they weren't really put in there. And that left-wing guy is the one who the government said, we're going to lock everybody down. And that allowed all the other countries, to include America, to say, oh, okay, well, if a European country is doing it, we're going to do it too. Isn't it crazy? Again, it's not serendipity. It's like, it's coincidence. I don't know. It's amazing when you think about it. You're thinking, this is just one instance. That's no big deal. And then you're like the Italy thing. I was like, all right, well, I don't like that. It sucks. But, I mean, it's Italy. But that allowed for the whole world to be thrown into shutdowns and lockdowns. And now Canada is literally arresting priests and pastors for having church. I mean, it's like the tyrants were just waiting for the call. And the call came from Italy. And they said, hell, okay, we'll match you and we'll freaking up your bet there, Italy. It's insane. Oh my goodness, it's nuts. Anyway, point being, back in the day, there used to be some give and take in the research, and now it's no more because Al Gore said, no, if you want money, you're going to toe the line. Of course, Al Gore got incredibly rich off that. Divorced Tipper, and then who knows what the hell is happening to Al Gore's daughters. I mean, who knows? I can almost assure you it ain't good, but it's amazing how that kind of shakes out. That's what makes history so interesting. You think about what happens when Hitler stormed Moscow. If it was Indian summer that year, what happens? You know what I'm saying? What happens if Finland doesn't send Lenin back to Russia? What if they kept him in there? Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is incredibly. What happens if freaking Teddy Roosevelt doesn't start the Bull Moose Party, and that leads to Woodrow Wilson winning a minority election? We'd never been in World War I, never had the Federal Reserve Board, never had the federal income tax, all this stuff. And all because Teddy Roosevelt needed his ego massaged to start the Bull Moose Party. Now, would he have won if Teddy Roosevelt did not do that? Probably not. Probably not. And as such, Theodore Roosevelt allowed Woodrow Wilson, which allows us to be where we are today in the modern era of big government dominance over you. It's crazy. All right. Yeah, we all like Harry. He's got a sense. He's a good guy, man. Harry's all right. All right. I'm not. I don't like InfoWars so much. Alex Jones never did anything for me. I do like Paul Joseph Watson. I like him. Alex, I just don't like that guy. He just annoys me. I think Alex Jones is in it for Alex Jones, to be honest with you. But I'm a big fan of Paul Joseph Watson. There are a couple guys at InfoWars I like. I like Rebel News out of Canada better. I like Rebel News out of Canada. I like them a lot better. I literally don't follow InfoWars, just FYI. So let me preface that I don't follow them, but I do follow Paul Joseph Watson, and I love Rebel News out of Canada. PayPal just banned them. Yeah, Mary, definitely stringing out way too long now for sure. Yeah, it's nuts. It's over. The tyrants, their day is past without question. They're going to keep fighting their last battle. They'll be like the Japanese and the Nazis and the Antarctica and stuff like that. But their days are behind. It's over. It's all there is to it. There'll be exceptions to the rule. I grant you, but it's just tyrants. Yeah, underwater by 2014. Well, so Rob's saying China's lockdown work. Oh, you got to trust that China is giving us the right. Look, man, if you trust a commie, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. All communists lie. Remember, communism is evil. It's of the devil. Always remember this, my friends. If it's a commie, it's evil. And what does the devil do? He lies. It doesn't matter what side. He'll lie to you on the left. He'll lie to you on the right. The devil lies. He wants you angry and hateful. That's all there is to it. Commies are liars. They lie about everything to get power. I just read, and I know Rob knows this. What I'm saying is any communist thing that comes out of their mouth, you should say, whatever, you're a commie. It's complete fabrication. Anything that comes out of the devil's mouth, you say, I don't believe you. But I got the proof. I literally don't believe you. You're the commie. You're a devil. You're evil. As such, your whole point to exist is to spread falsehoods. Just think about C.S. Lewis, man. I'm just telling you right now. C.S. Lewis, the Screw Tape Letters, he talks about this. He goes, We don't care what side of the, and this is during World War II, we don't care if they hate the Nazis or the Nazis. We don't care. We just want them to come to hell, which means we need them to hate the other side. And if we can get them to hate the other side, as they die, they will come to us. We need them to hate. So whatever you got to do, Wormwood. That's Wormwood's the guy he's trying to Screw Tape is the guy who's training a tempter named Wormwood to try to take souls away from God, essentially. And he's saying, so Screw Tape's like, Wormwood, look, man, this is how you do it. Lie, cheat, steal. It doesn't matter, because what's going to happen? They're going to open up their eyes one day and they're going to say, you lied to me. And say, yeah, no, so what? What are you going to do about it? You're with me in hell now. Or on the other hand, they're going to open up their eyes and the scale's going to fall off and they're going to say, it was you all the time. To Jesus and God. They say, God, it was you all the time. You were always there. Or maybe a guardian angel, but they're going to see the angels, the glory of the heaven of angels. They'll say, man, you were always there. It's such a wonderful, powerful passage. You're going to wake up one day and the freaking Wormwood lies to you, and you're down in hell, and you're like, I need justice. He goes, ain't no justice here, baby. Or if you fall in with God, and you're going to wake up and the scales will come off your eyes when you're dead. And you're going to say, it was you all the time. You're always here, always at my side, always at my side. Oh, man. Yeah, dude. One day at a time. That's it. All addictions. Trust me. All addictions. If you know what I'm saying. Anything can be an addiction. Anything. Sad thing is, like food addictions, man. That is a frick. I don't have that. I mean, I love food, but I'm not addicted to it, right? Can you imagine being addicted to something that you must have? I can't, as my daughter Maddie was talking about this, they did some studies on addiction in one of her classes at Georgia Tech. I never thought about it like this. She goes, can you imagine, like, you have to eat, but eating is your addiction revolves around eating, and yet you have to do it. So it's like saying to yourself, I have to drink beer, but I can't get drunk. And if you're an alcoholic, that's tough. But you literally have to eat. And yet if you're addicted to eating, and it does all the chemical imbalance, the dopamines and all that stuff in your head, you don't just want to put it down because you're full. It's more than that. It's a chemical reaction in your brain, man. Oh, I feel bad for people who are addicted to eating, which is why I feel so bad when I hear this. People say, don't fast shame me. I'm like, look, you can still eat, but just eat a different diet. It's proven. Eat a different diet. You can still eat. You can still get the dopamine of the saliva that's chomping up the foods and all that. You just got to eat differently. I'm growing some sun gold cherry tomatoes out there. My mom was actually telling me, I didn't know this, but she always used to grow beets. And I never liked beets. And she goes, oh, yeah, you did. I said, really? She goes, yeah, you like the sweet beets. I said, man, I never knew that. So anyway, apparently sweet beets are really sweet. So I'm going to try growing some. Because these sun gold cherry tomatoes, I heard, are sweet. They taste like a freaking fruit. I'm like, oh, man. So I'm going to grow some I got some out there. And so I'm going to grow some sweet beets. Because I never liked beets, but if they're sweet, like she was saying, she goes, yeah, you liked them when you were a kid. I said, I don't know that. So I'm going to grow some because think about it. If you can eat something that stimulates your dopamine hit up here like a sugar would, but it's not, it's sugar, it's natural. I mean, I get it. The hybrid stuff, trust me, oranges today are a hell of a lot more sweet than they were 100 years ago because what man has done to them. At the end of the day, though, it's still better to eat an orange than a candy bar. I mean, let's just, can I prove that? No, but I'm going to my grave saying that. So if I can get my sugar fixed through sun gold cherry tomatoes and sweet beets and sugar snap peas, woo-wee, that'd be good for me because I love sweets and I love vegetables. If I can combine the two, Anyway. It's one thing, Marie, absolutely. So we were thinking about that. Chloe and I were going to go up and check out some schools up in Virginia in the summertime. So we'll drive up there and see my mom. Yeah, the EPA is trying to, 100%, man. EPA is trying to kill 24. Yeah. Oh, someone lost 300 pounds on here? Whoa. Self-inflicted. That's it. Right on. Whoa. I lost 300 pounds. Uh-oh. Paul saying good night. Keto is causing heart issues for you, Jake? I haven't heard this. Is this true? So I talk to people all the time who go keto and are just happy, like literally in a good place. Oh, look at Pablo saying night nights. Pablo saying night nights. Yeah, low carb, not low fat is the way to eat. 100%. Yeah, I never had raw milk. Not that I'm aware of, so I'm not sure. I don't know. It seems. I'm not sure if I'm ready to do the taste test yet. I wonder if Fauci ran to CNN after the Capitol Committee testimony. Oh, I'm sure he did. How do I feel about uranium? 100%. I love nuclear. So we need uranium for nuclear. So, all right. I guess we'll get out of here, my friends. Avoid the kale. Why? Why avoid the kale? Well, I love kale. Oh, yeah, fish, dude. I tell you, I'm not the biggest fish fan. I love red meat, but I can easily be a fish eater for sure. I mean, I still eat meat, but I mean, fish. I love shrimp. I almost bought some shrimps today, but I said, nah. So that's Pulverizer's issue. His mom lied to him. That's why he's on here always so antsy. So Pulverizer has mommy issues. As do I, brother. As do I. Pulverizer has mommy issues. You probably never liked beets. You're probably right, man. I tell you, man, just strawberry patch. Oh man. Firms in Texas so desperate qualified truck drivers are willing to pay $14,000 a week. A week. How, pardon my French, effing spoiled are we that we can't have people my wife sent me something today from her brother. It's funny. Let me share it with you. This is pretty funny. Oh man, did I delete it? Oh no. I guess I deleted it. Anyway, it said, oh man. It said, the government should tell people there's a run on. The government should tell people the jobs, the job market has been hacked. That will get everyone to go get a job. It was basically saying, the gas shortage has made everyone go get gas, and so the issue is there's a job shortage, so everyone will go get jobs. I can't remember what it says. Yeah, you like meats? You like beets, Mary? I don't know, man. Well, this is why they're brainwashing kids in public schools and colleges. That's why you've got to vote on your local school council. Like I shared with you a video earlier today, why the left always wins, because they vote when we don't, and they vote in numbers that we're too busy working. There's no other way around that. Anyway. All right, my friends, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm getting tired. It's 10 o'clock right now. Sorry about the buffering. I think we learned the issue there. It was Yahoo. I did not know that. I wonder if that does on my videos too. Interesting. But I'm gonna start using Schwab. Schwab's website is fantastic. Much obliged. Don't forget, Amar and I will be doing a live stream tomorrow. Amar and I, so 12:30 Eastern. We'll see you guys then. Be there, be square. We'll see you guys. Thanks, man. See ya.